how the world works, I do not think you are taking into account all the variables of a free market when you propose it as a solution to the finite oil problem. I would be perfectly happy to post this as a text-based response to your video, except I already made one post and I think getting the rest of this across may take 2 or 3 more posts, so here I go. As I said in a previous comment to one of your videos, you assume the solution will come as prices for oil rise, except you are not considering the human factor. You're not taking into account the fact that the owners of the big oil companies may make every attempt to stop either by outright purchase of such developments or other means. The free market only does things when there is profit to be had, and for the oil companies there is more profit in as blocking any attempt to replace oil, or buy it outright, and keep it from the public consumer until oil basically finally runs out. Seeing as the oil companies have been around for a really long time, had a chance to acquire a massive amount of resources, they can squish the relatively tiny alternative fuel market, or at the very least hold it back in a free market. In essence, they have a monopoly on the energy industry, and would be next to impossible to dislodge without some government backing. You say currently that prices for alternative energy sources are just too high, but that is only natural when there is little demand for them, and hasn't been any really concerted efforts to research them better. The United States used to have a program to develop solar energy, or was that Canada, my home country? Either way, research into has ceased in favor of cheap oil and developing ways of utilizing that better. The program was stopped a decade or 2 ago. Imagine how much closer we'd be to using solar power now. If it hadn't been, hell, we might have already been there by now. Oh yes, and of course using ethanol made from corn is bad because it shortens food stocks, but get this, because of the government's alternative fuel agenda, they are starting to figure out how to use the non-food parts of plants to make ethanol. Of course, that's just one alternative fuel source. There is always the possibility of hydrogen fuel produced off solar power in one way or another, but of course, if we leave it all to the open markets, none of that will get any real funding, because everyone in the energy business is making too much money off of oil. As for the United States being the most prosperous country in the free world, I would take a look at your federal debt and just how much trouble your country will be in if things don't change in the way the United States government spends its money. I'm sorry for the crap quality of this. I don't have a mic or webcam and had to use a browser-based thing to get this done.